The Abducted was a quiet night. The wind was soft and the streets were empty. Jack, a 24-year-old man, walked home after finishing his late shift at a small bookstore. He had headphones in his ears, listening to calm music, unaware that this night would change his life forever. As he walked under the streetlight, he noticed something strange. The air felt heavy like a storm was coming, but the sky was clear. Then the music in his headphones stopped. The lights on the street flickered. Jack looked up. A small, glowing light appeared in the sky, bright and still. It wasn't a star. It wasn't a plane. The light grew bigger, closer. Suddenly, a loud humming sound filled the air. Jack's body froze. He wanted to run, but his legs wouldn't move. Everything around him slowed down. The wind stopped. Even the leaves on the trees didn't move. Then everything turned black. When Jack opened his eyes, he wasn't on the street anymore. He was lying on a smooth white floor. The room around him glowed with a soft light, but there were no lamps. Everything seemed to shine from within. The walls were curved, almost like he was inside a giant egg. His heart raced. He sat up quickly, breathing hard. "Where am I?" he whispered. Then he saw them. 3 tall figures stood at the edge of the room. They had long arms, thin bodies, and no mouths. Their skin was silver and smooth, and their large black eyes watched him closely. Jack backed away, fear filling his chest. "Who are you? What do you want?" he shouted, but the figures didn't speak. Instead, Jack heard a voice, inside his head. "Do not be afraid. You are safe. We mean no harm." Jack looked around, confused. No one had spoken, yet the words were clear. "You are the one we have waited for," the voice said again. "What are you talking about?" "Let me go," Jack shouted. He ran to the wall and tried to find a door, but the wall was smooth. No buttons, no cracks. He hit it with his fists, but it didn't move. Suddenly, the wall changed. It melted, like liquid metal, and a doorway opened. The tall beings motioned for him to follow. Jack hesitated, but he had no choice. He stepped through the doorway. What he saw next took his breath away. They were not on Earth. Jack stood inside a giant ship, floating in space. Stars and planets shined outside the glass walls. In the center of the room was a glowing blue orb. Symbols floated around it like it was alive. Jack felt drawn to it. "This is the core," the voice said. "You are connected to it." "What do you mean?" Jack asked, staring at the orb. One of the beings stepped forward and touched the orb. The symbols changed. Jack's name appeared in glowing letters. He froze. "How do you know my name?" The figure looked at him and spoke again. This time not in his head, but out loud. The voice was deep, but soft. "Because you are not only human. Your blood is ancient. Part of our kind lives in you." Jack stepped back. "No, that's impossible. You are the key," the figure said. "Your DNA is the bridge between 2 worlds." Jack's mind raced. This had to be a dream. Aliens? DNA? Key to something? It made no sense. "Why me?" he asked. "Because your birth was not an accident. You were chosen before you were even born." They led him to a mirror on the wall. Jack looked at his reflection and gasped. His eyes were glowing. Bright white light shined from them, just like the aliens. He touched his face, scared and confused. "What's happening to me?" "You are awakening," the voice said. "Soon, you will understand." The room began to shake. Red lights flashed on the ceiling. Something was wrong. "They found us," one of the aliens said. Jack turned. Who? Who found us?" But before he could get an answer, the room turned dark again. A bright flash filled his eyes, and everything disappeared. The test's darkness, again? Jack opened his eyes slowly. This time the room was different. He was lying on a soft bed inside a chamber filled with blue light. Soft humming sounds came from the walls. Strange symbols floated in the air, glowing and shifting like they were alive. Everything was clean, smooth, silent, and alien. Jack sat up. His head was heavy. He remembered the glowing eyes in the mirror, the voice that said, "You are awakening." He touched his face. His eyes felt warm. Before he could think more, a door slid open without sound. Two tall beings entered. They were not like the ones before. These wore armor, black, shiny, with sharp patterns. They moved quickly and stood still like statues. One of them looked at Jack. Again the voice entered his mind. "You must be tested. Follow." Jack had no choice. He stood up, still weak. His feet touched the floor. It was warm, like it was alive. The guards led him through long hallways made of silver and glass. Sometimes Jack saw other rooms with strange machines inside, machines that moved without anyone touching them. Then they reached a huge chamber. It was round and full of floating platforms. In the center there was a glowing ring 10 feet high. It pulsed like a beating heart. A female alien stood near the ring. She looked different, taller with a crown of glowing threads around her head. Her skin was golden, and her eyes held something human, but older. "I am Lirana," she said, her voice calm but strong. "I will guide your tests." Jack stepped forward. "What kind of tests?" "The kind that show who you really are," she said. "Your body is human, but something ancient sleeps inside you. It is time to wake it up." The first test began without warning. Jack was pulled into the air by invisible force. He floated above the ring. Suddenly, hundreds of lights shot around him. They entered his body, his chest, his mind, his blood. Jack screamed. Memories, not his own, flashed inside his head. Tall towers, alien cities, 2 moons in the sky, strange weapons, war, peace. A voice shouting in a language he didn't know but somehow understood. Then silence. He dropped to the ground, gasping. "What was that?" he asked. "Your true memories," Lirana said. "From the part of you that is not human." The second test was worse. He was placed in a glass chamber filled with black fog. Inside, he saw visions. People from his life. His mother, his friends, his childhood dog. All of them begged for help. They were trapped, screaming. He tried to break the glass, but it was unbreakable. He cried out, "Stop, please, stop." Voice whispered, "Will you choose them? Or your mission?" Jack collapsed, shaking. The fog cleared. The people were gone. It had been a test of his emotions, his choices, his weakness. The third test was different. He was placed in front of a strange table. On it were objects: a knife, a glowing cube, a piece of alien metal, and a photo of himself as a baby. The cube called to him. He reached for it. The moment he touched it, it changed. It opened like a flower. Energy flowed into his hand. Lights ran up his arm. He could see through walls. He could hear thoughts. He was changing. Suddenly, the cube burned hot. Jack screamed and threw it down. His hand was glowing. Lirana watched him, curious. "You activated it without training. Impressive." Jack looked at his hand. "What am I becoming?" Lirana looked at the guards, then back at him. "A weapon, or a savior. The choice will be yours." Jack shook his head. "I never asked for this." "None of us did," she said. Later, Jack sat alone in his room. His skin felt different. His mind buzzed with strange thoughts. He could hear voices in the walls. He knew things he didn't learn. He wasn't the same Jack anymore. Suddenly, the wall opened. A new figure entered. A man. Not alien. Human. He wore a white coat and had a tired face. "Jack," the man said. "My name is Dr. Kane. I've been here for years. I work with them." Jack stood up, shocked. "There are others?" "Not like you," Kane said. "You're the first one who passed all 3 tests." "What does that mean?" Jack asked Kane. Looked at him seriously. "It means they're preparing you for something big, something dangerous, and they haven't told you the full truth." What truth? Kane walked closer. You were never just taken. You were created. And now, they need you to save them. Jack's heart stopped. Save them from what? Kane paused, his eyes filled with fear. From extinction. Just then, alarms rang across the station. Red lights flashed. A voice echoed. In the halls. Threat detected. Secure all test subjects. Jack looked at Kane. What's happening? Kane replied with just 3 words. They found us. The escape attempt. The red lights flashed. Alarms echoed through the alien ship. Walls trembled with a low, pulsing hum. Jack stood frozen in the doorway. Dr. Kane beside him. What's going on? Jack asked, his voice shaking. Kane looked toward the hallway. They found us, I don't know who, but this ship is no longer safe. Who is they? Kane didn't answer. Instead, he grabbed Jack's arm. Come with me, now. They ran down a long corridor. The walls lit up as they passed, reacting to Jack's presence. Some doors opened automatically while others stayed shut, sealed by invisible locks. Why are they locking doors behind us? Jack asked, panting. Kane didn't slow down. Not to keep us in, to keep something else out. They turned into a wide hallway with tall windows. Jack glanced outside. What he saw took his breath away. Dozens of dark, spiked ships floated just beyond the force field. Unlike the alien ship he was on, these vessels were sharp, menacing, and alive with movement. Long metal arms reached outward, scanning the surface. Lights blinked like angry red eyes. Those aren't your people's ships, are they? Jack asked. Kane shook his head. No, they're the enemy, the ones who destroyed their world. And now they've found this one. They entered a chamber, lined with metallic suits, some robotic, some clearly made for battle. Kane rushed to a control panel and began typing quickly. What are you doing? Jack asked. Opening the human test archives, Kane replied. You need to see what this place really is. The wall changed. It became a screen, showing thousands of names. Some were marked as terminated, others were incomplete. Only one was marked awakened. Jack Conway. They've been testing humans for decades, Kane said, abducting people, looking for someone with your DNA match, someone who could activate their ancient technology. Every other subject failed. You didn't. Jack felt his chest tighten. So all this, I'm just part of some science experiment? Kane sighed. You were meant to be a leader, a weapon, or a sacrifice. Suddenly the room went dark. Then, a new voice filled the air, cold, metallic, unfamiliar. Unauthorized access detected. System lockdown engaged. The floor beneath them split open. Jack and Kane fell through a tunnel of light. They landed hard in a lower chamber. Around them were large glass pods, each holding a human inside, floating in green liquid. Their eyes were closed. Wires ran into their necks. Who are they? Jack whispered. The failed ones, Kane said. People like you. But they couldn't handle the awakening. Their minds broke. Their bodies changed. Jack stepped closer to one of the pods. Inside he saw a girl who looked no older than 15. Her skin was pale, but her veins glowed blue. Her mouth was open like she was silently screaming. They never had a choice, Kane said softly. Just like you. Jack turned to him, angry. Then help me escape. I don't want to be part of this. Before Kane could answer, the wall exploded. Smoke filled the room. From the fire, 2 tall figures walked out, like the first ones Jack had seen. Silver skin, glowing eyes. But this time, they wore armor, and they held weapons shaped like spears made of light. Do not run, one of them said. Your path is not finished. Jack raised his hands. I just want to go home. The figure stepped closer. You have no home. Not anymore. You belong to the stars now. Jack felt a sudden pulse in his chest. His hand began to glow. Bright, almost. White hot. The same hand that had touched the cube in the test chamber. The armored alien stepped back. They were afraid. Jack looked at his palm. A symbol was burning into his skin, a circle with 2 lines crossing through it, just like the shape of the mysterious ring he floated in during the first test. "What is this?" he asked. Kane stared in shock. "It's the seal of the progenitor, the first being who created their kind. No one has worn that mark in 10,000 years. Jack's mind raced. "Why is it on me?" "Because," a voice said from behind the smoke, "you are the last part of him." Lorana stepped forward from the fire. Her golden eyes glowed bright. "You weren't just chosen," she said. "You were reborn." Jack backed away. "I don't believe you." "Then come with me," she said. "See for yourself." Jack hesitated. He looked at Kane, who nodded slowly. "If she's right, Jack, then you're not just the key. You're the lock and the door." But Jack didn't move. Instead, he turned and ran. He didn't know where he was going, but something inside him had changed. He could feel the ship, now, like it was part of him. The walls responded to his thoughts. Doors opened before he touched them. Finally, he reached a hangar. A small, sleek ship sat in the center, silver and black, shaped like a blade. "Can I fly this?" he whispered. The ship lit up. "Yes," it answered in his mind. Jack climbed in. Lights flickered. Controls moved. The roof opened. Space stretched before him. He looked back one last time. "I'm done being your experiment," he said. Then he flew, out of the ship, into the stars, and toward Earth. But behind him, Lorana watched, and she smiled. "He thinks he's free," she whispered. "But the test has only just begun." The truth Jack flew through the stars. The ship moved like it was alive, answering his thoughts before he could speak them. The stars outside blurred into streaks of white. Earth was still far but getting closer. His mind was racing. He had escaped. Or so he thought, but nothing made sense. Aliens, tests, memories that weren't his, glowing marks on his skin, and, now a voice still echoed in his mind. "You are not just the key, you are the door." Suddenly the ship slowed down on its own. Alarms flashed. A new voice spoke inside his head. "Proximity warning. External energy detected." Jack sat up straight. "What now?" Before the ship could respond, everything turned white. His body felt weightless. His mind floated away from time. He was no longer inside the ship. He was standing on a barren world. The sky above was full of cracks, like broken glass. Ruins stretched out before him. Giant towers turned to dust. The air was heavy, full of whispers. And then, a shadow moved. It walked, slowly toward him. It had no face, no mouth, but its voice echoed directly into his bones. "Welcome, child of the code." Jack stepped back. "Who are you?" "I am the memory of what came before," the shadow replied. "I am the one who made the first key." Jack's heart pounded. The alien said I was the key, the lock, the door. What does that mean? The shadow lifted its hand. A swirling galaxy appeared between its fingers. Inside it, Jack saw millions of planets, some bright, some burning. And then, he saw Earth. "Once, long ago, Earth was ours," the shadow said. "A colony. A garden for our future." Jack's eyes widened. Earth was alien, not alien. Ours. But time changed. We left. We forgot. And you, human, are the result of that forgetting. Images flashed in Jack's mind. Ancient humans, standing beside tall, glowing beings. They worked together, lived together, until war came. "Our people fought among themselves," the shadow said. "We broke our code. We destroyed our home. Some fled to the stars. Others hid on Earth, mixing with humans, becoming stories and myths." Jack couldn't breathe. "So I'm not just human. You are hybrid, the last of our design, the last who can activate the core." "What is the core?" The shadow leaned closer. "It is life. It is control. It can remake worlds, or end them." Jack stepped back. "I don't want to remake anything." "But you already are," the shadow said. Your awakening has begun. Your body is changing. Your mind is no longer only yours. Jack looked at his hands. The glowing mark on his palm was brighter now. It pulsed with energy. Strange symbols danced around it like tiny flames. You will face a choice soon, the shadow said. Save them or save yourself. Save who? Earth or the ones who made you? Jack was about to ask more, but the vision shattered. He gasped and found himself back in the ship. Lights flashed. Earth was now directly ahead. The ship entered orbit smoothly and silently, but Earth didn't look right. Huge black towers rose across the continents. Jack stared in horror. Alien tech had already arrived. Floating drones flew above cities, skies were dark, and power grids glowed with colors not made by humans. What happened? Jack whispered. A voice behind him answered. Progress. Jack turned. Lyrana stood inside the ship. He backed away. How did you get in here? I was never out, she replied. This ship is linked to you, and so am I. Jack raised his hand, glowing. Don't come closer. We didn't lie to you, Jack, she said calmly. We just didn't tell you everything. Like what? He asked. Like the fact that your awakening triggers our rebirth, she said. As you unlock your powers, our kind can return. Not in ships, but through you. Through your code. Jack's eyes widened. You mean, I'm a doorway for your species to come to Earth? Yes, she said. And they're already coming. On the screen, Jack saw thousands of glowing lights entering Earth's atmosphere. Not ships, beings made of energy. You used me, Jack said, voice shaking. Lyrana didn't deny it. We needed you to survive. Our bodies are gone. We live only in the code now. Your body is the only one that can carry us safely. Jack felt sick. You said I had a choice. And you do, she said. Merge with us, or destroy the core and kill everything. He stared at the Earth, the cities, the people, his mother, his memories. Then he looked at Lyrana. What happens if I destroy the core? You die, she said. And we vanish forever. Silence. Jack walked to the control panel. His hands hovered above two buttons, one green, one red. Behind him, Lyrana whispered, Become more than human, Jack. Become eternal. He stared at the buttons, green, life, red, death. His hand moved toward one. The screen turned black. The mission, the ship descended, Earth came into view, but it wasn't the Earth Jack had left behind. Cities looked darker. Skies pulsed with strange colors. Blue and violet lightning flickered across the clouds. Giant alien towers reached into the sky like black needles humming with energy. Jack could feel it vibrating through the ship, through his bones. They were already here. He stepped out of the ship and onto solid ground. It was quiet. Too quiet. No traffic, no people, no wind. A voice in his head whispered, This is what peace looks like, before the storm. Suddenly, the ground shook. A nearby building cracked. From the rubble, a human appeared, dirty, thin, frightened. He pointed something at Jack. Stop, the man shouted. Don't move. Jack raised his hands. I'm not your enemy. You glow like them, the man replied. You are one of them. Before things got worse, someone tackled the man. From behind, a woman stepped forward, strong, confident, wearing old military gear. She held a weapon, but not like any Jack had seen before. Half machine, half alien. Jack Conway? She asked. He blinked. How do you know my name? She smirked. You're kind of famous around here. Who are you? Sergeant Aria Delaney, she said. Earth resistance. What's left of it anyway? Jack followed her underground through broken tunnels and forgotten train lines. Deeper and deeper, until they reached an old subway station turned into a base. Dozens of people moved inside. Scientists, soldiers, children, all trying to survive. What happened to Earth? Jack asked, heart heavy. Arya looked at him. You did. He froze. What? She showed him a screen. Footage played. Alien drones entering through rips in the sky. Rips shaped like the symbol on Jack's hand. Buildings collapsed. Humans ran. Lights from the sky took control of machines, power stations, even satellites. "Your awakening opened something," she said. "We don't know if you meant to, but it happened. And now they're rewriting the planet." Jack sat down, shaking. "I didn't know," he said quietly. "Maybe," Arya replied. "But they used you. And now we're dying." A voice called. From the back, Daughter Kane stepped out of the shadows. Jack stood up. "You're alive?" Kane nodded. "Barely. Lyrana let me live, so I could witness what you'd become." Arya crossed her arms. "He says you can help us." Jack shook his head. "I don't even know who I am anymore." "Then it's time to find out," Kane said. "Come with me." They took Jack into a small lab filled with ancient machines and damaged alien tech. Kane pulled a dusty cover off a device. Something like a glowing heart trapped in crystal. "This is a mirror core," he explained. "A backup of their original power. It can be reprogrammed if someone like you connects to it." Jack stepped back. "What if it turns me into them? Or what if it gives you control?" Arya asked. "To shut their system down. From inside." Jack looked at the device. It pulsed in rhythm with his chest. "What do I have to do?" "You have to bond with it," Kane said. "Fully. It will show you their network, their plans, maybe even their weaknesses. And if I fail, then you're gone," Arya said. "But so is our last chance." Jack nodded. "Do it." They connected wires to his skin. The mirror core floated into the air. Jack reached out and touched it. A scream echoed through the room, but not from Jack. The core screamed. Then Jack's body lit up. Every vein, every cell, glowing with white fire. His eyes rolled back. He was falling. But inside his own mind, he landed in a dark city. But this city wasn't real. It was digital, shifting, full of codes and spinning symbols. Everywhere he looked, he saw memories of alien wars, of Earth before the fall, of Lyrana watching him since birth. And then he saw the plan, a machine deep inside the Earth's crust, alien, ancient, alive. Once it activates, all human minds would become part of the network. Peaceful, obedient, no fear, no war, but no freedom. Jack screamed, "This isn't salvation, it's control," a voice answered him. "Lyrana, humans destroy what they don't understand. We offer peace. Peace isn't real if you have to steal people's minds to get it," Jack replied. She appeared in front of him. "Then choose, Jack. Be our bridge, or be their final war." Jack's eyes burned. His hands lit up. The core inside him began to shift, changing color, resisting both sides. He wasn't a weapon. He wasn't a doorway. He was something new. Back in the lab, Jack collapsed. Arya caught him. "Jack? Are you?" He opened his eyes. They were still glowing, but different now, gold and white, balanced. "I saw everything," he said. "I know how to stop it, but I'll need to go to the source." "Where is the source?" Arya asked. Jack looked down. "It's not in space. It's in the Earth's core." Arya's face went pale. "How deep?" "Deeper than anything human has ever reached. And they've built a gate down there. Then we go in," she said. Kane stepped forward. "No. He goes in. He's the only one who can survive it." Jack nodded. "I'll go." Arya placed a device in his hand. "Take this. If you fail, press the red trigger. It'll overload the core. You die, but so do they." Jack held the device tight. "This is it," he said. "One way or another, the mission ends below." He looked up at the cracked ceiling above as thunder rolled through the sky. The war wasn't coming. It had already begun. The choice. The earth trembled beneath Jack's boots. He stood at the edge of a massive crater in the center of what was once the Amazon rainforest. The trees were gone. In their place, a deep, spiraling hole stretched down into the planet's core. engineered by the alien network like a black wound carved into the earth. Arya stood beside him, her face pale under the red light of the alien sky. "There's no going back after this." Jack didn't answer. He looked down into the glowing pit. Strange winds rose from below, carrying whispers, not words but feelings, curiosity, hunger, patience. They were waiting for him. "How deep is it?" he asked. Kane, now weak and pale from his earlier encounter with the core's echo, answered, 30 miles straight down. The core isn't just energy anymore, it's awake. And if I reach it, you'll stand inside the heart of their entire network. Every living piece of their species lives there now." Jack nodded, then turned to Arya. "If I don't come back, don't say it," she said quickly. "Just promise you'll try." Jack gave her a small smile. "I always try." He stepped onto the platform. Alien tech responded to his presence instantly. Vines of glowing metal wrapped around his arms and pulled him downward. He descended into the dark. The walls around him shifted and pulsed with light. Faces appeared. Memories from other lives, other beings. Some looked like him. Others were monstrous. All of them were watching. 30 minutes passed. No time. No gravity. Just falling. Then he landed, not on rock, on light. The chamber at the center of the earth was massive, larger than any city. Tall spires of glowing crystal floated in the air. The floor was liquid and solid at the same time, and in the center, a great sphere of light pulsed like a living heart. This was the source. The voice of the network welcomed him. "Jack Conway, the key has arrived." "I'm not your key anymore," Jack said, stepping forward. "I'm here to make a choice. You have already chosen. You came to stop you," Jack said. "To stop this." The light shifted. A familiar figure appeared before him, Lorena. But this time, she wasn't glowing. She looked tired, broken. "You still don't understand," she said. "We aren't here to destroy, we are here to live. By taking our minds," Jack said. "By saving them," she replied. He shook his head. "You don't save people by making them stop thinking." "Humans kill each other," she said. "They poison their world. You were going extinct before. We arrived. Now we offer unity, at the cost of freedom. Freedom is chaos," Lorana whispered. "But if you want proof, step into the core, see it yourself." Jack hesitated, then stepped in. Everything exploded. His body melted into light. His mind scattered into a billion stars. He saw through the eyes of every alien, every machine, every drone that had ever been connected to the network. He saw the beginning, the ancient ones who made the first keys, creatures of energy who lived in balance, until war broke them apart. He saw the great betrayal. One of them, the progenitor, tried to rewrite life, to merge consciousness across worlds. But it failed, and the others locked him inside a core made of living code, the same core now buried inside Earth. And Jack realized he wasn't just linked to the aliens. He was the progenitor, or at least a fragment reborn in human form, a backup of a mind too powerful to die, a being split between two worlds. He screamed, but no one could hear it. The core spoke through him now. "You have returned to finish what you started." "No," Jack said. "I'm not you. I won't make the same mistake." The core pulsed in anger. Outside, across the planet, machines began to stir. The final stage had started. Human minds would soon be pulled into the network, made peaceful forever. Jack stood at the edge of godhood and destruction. And then, Arya's voice, a transmission from the surface. "Jack, whatever you're seeing, don't lose yourself. We believe in you. I believe in you." His eyes flickered. For a moment, he was just Jack again, just a man. And in that moment, he made his choice. He reached into the center of the core. His glowing hand lit up with every color of the alien spectrum. He pulled the power toward him, not to join it, but to rewrite it. He spoke a single command: free. Will, and everything cracked. The network screamed. Across the planet, towers collapsed. Machines froze. Lights shut down. The bond broke. Every human mind returned. But so did every alien spirit, now loose, no longer controlled. Jack had set both species free. The core collapsed around him. He fell again, this time into fire. On the surface, the skies cleared, the towers crumbled, humans stepped into the light again, confused, frightened, alive. Arya stood at the edge of the crater, waiting, hoping. A flash of light burst from below, and Jack rose, barely breathing, body broken, but alive. She ran to him, tears in her eyes. "You did it." He nodded weakly. "No gods, no masters, just choice." She helped him stand. Behind them, the sun finally rose, no longer filtered through alien clouds. Just light, real, human light. The new beginning. The war was over. Jack lay on a hospital bed deep beneath the resistance base, surrounded by quiet hums and dim lights. Machines buzzed softly, monitoring his fragile heartbeat. He hadn't moved in 2 days. No one knew if he would wake up. Outside, the world was trying to rebuild. The alien towers had collapsed. The skies had cleared. Millions of people were free again. Free from the network, from control, from the voices that once whispered in their minds. But with that freedom came fear. Fear of what might return. Fear of what Jack had become. Arya sat. Beside him, her fingers curled around his hand. She hadn't left his side. She remembered his final words before he fell. No gods, no masters, just choice. Jack had done the impossible. He rewrote the alien code from within. He broke the connection between the core and both species. He set everyone free, including the ones who were never meant to be free. And that was the part no one talked about. The alien spirits, millions of minds once trapped inside the network, were now loose. No longer inside machines, but not gone either. They were drifting, like shadows through the cracks of the world. Some had vanished, some had taken form, and a few had found hosts. 3 weeks later, Jack woke up. No alarms, no lightning, just a deep breath. His body was weak, but something had changed. The mark on his hand had faded, but not completely. Instead of glowing, it pulsed, like a heartbeat, slow and quiet. Arya rushed into the room. She smiled, tears in her eyes. "You're alive." "I think so," Jack whispered. "How do you feel?" He paused. "Different." He sat up slowly. His skin no longer glowed. His voice sounded more grounded. The voices were gone, but something deep inside him still listened, like the echo of a song long ended. "Did it work?" he asked. Arya nodded. "You saved them. All of them." Jack looked around. "And the others? The alien minds?" Arya's face darkened. "That's the problem. We don't know where they went. We only know some of them stayed." Jack stood. "Show me." On the surface, cities were returning to life. Humans worked together, clearing rubble, planting crops, reconnecting power. Lines, but in secret, strange things had begun. Children born after the collapse showed signs, strange abilities. Some could hear thoughts. Others moved objects without touching them. A few had glowing eyes just for a second. People called them the awakened, and they were spreading. Jack watched one of the children play with a broken drone, rebuilding it without touching it. It hovered in the air, spinning slowly. He turned to Arya. The alien minds didn't vanish. They seated themselves in new life. "Do we stop them?" she asked. Jack shook his head. "They're not dangerous. Not yet. They're curious." But what if they become something else? Arya asked. Jack looked up at the sky. Then someone else will have to make a choice like I did. Arya studied him. You're not staying, are you? He didn't answer right away. Instead, he walked toward the hill beyond the base. The wind brushed against his skin real and fresh. For the first time in weeks, he felt peace. I'm not human anymore, Jack finally said, but I'm not alien either. Then, what are you? Arya asked. Jack looked at her, smiling gently. The bridge, he said, the first of something new. Arya stepped forward. So what now? Jack reached into his pocket and pulled out a small device, the one she had given him weeks ago, with the red trigger. He handed it back to her. Now, you choose. Earth is yours again. And you? Jack turned, stepping into the shadow of a ship hidden behind the ridge, one not built by humans nor aliens, a ship that responded only to him. I'll watch from a distance, he said. And if anything ever threatens this world again, I'll return. The ship opened. He stepped inside. Years later, a classroom full of children sat in front of a hologram. It showed an image of Jack, standing in front of the core, hand raised in defiance. The teacher spoke. And that, students, is how one man, half human, half something else, chose freedom for both worlds. A boy raised his hand. What happened to him? The teacher smiled. No one knows. Some say he died. Some say he became light. Others say he still watches. The lights flickered. Outside, the sky shifted for a moment. In the clouds, a shape moved, watching, waiting. The story was over, but the legend was just beginning.